And welcome to another night in the woods, which starts as a late afternoon in the woods, but I guess that's how this game goes. Um, he is indeed at the old pickaxe to be helloed at. And work does indeed suck. Sorry about that. And yes, you need to remember to, click on your Sharkle, because he does seem to be the, angel of death. No new commentary there, nothing there. Well, probably best to ask Germ there, May. Although I'm pretty sure in this game, world, ascended creatures aren't nearly as, or can't communicate with feral ones. And, yeah, this is sort of the beginning of one of the, least favorite parts of the game. Not, that it's bad. It's actually really good. It's one of those just, I want to make people happy, and May is definitely not helping in that goal. And nothing new up there. A lot of people have been wondering what happens at the end of the game, and of course there is no, official, there is no official thing that happens at the end of the game. It just sort of ends and becomes, however you feel like it happens. I guess I kind of like to think that, when May writes down in her notebook that she could become a janitor, that, maybe she kind of becomes a town custodian, because it seems like the handyman works all over the place, and I think probably is working for the town center, because he works in, government buildings most often. So, I would kind of hope that would become May's, future goal. And, there's someone new that you can't interact with. Quick teasing us, game. Quit teasing us. And did not pull off the triple jump that well, and I paid the price. Now that I think about it, the only time you need to do the triple jump is in that, first point of the game, during that tutorial. Because I think you can play through the rest of the game, essentially without jumping at all, except for like the occasional hops. I just do jumps because video games have been ingrained in my head that, non-normal running is faster than just running. But yes, May, these are all going to be bummers. Because that seems to be the kind of, kind of stories these are. Especially since they all seem to be very Eastern European and Russian. Although, to be fair, the Greek stories aren't particularly all that happy either. But yeah, sometimes you do something for the longest time and now your job is obsolete, and yeah, in a capitalistic society you're essentially as good as dead. Isn't that pleasant? And here I'm searching for that next one. Should be on the side here. There it is. And I think this is definitely one of my favorite ones, but I guess I'm just a sucker for the Joan of Arc types, which Simone the Fighter certainly is a, Joan of Arc, Jeanne d'Arc, warrior. Although, in this game world, it does seem to be very, I think the only time, a largely sexist divide comes up is in this day, where May says that her grandfather didn't quite want her to take up hunting. Was her grandfather or her dad? I'm not sure, but yeah, she laments that they considered it too girly for her, and yeah, not to define May's sexual definitions or gender definitions, but she doesn't certainly seem to be girly. Although maybe that's something we all should, try to avoid is, yeah, things are quote-unquote traditionally depicted as being masculine or feminine, but, I mean, it's not like it has to be. And in here I decided to go upstairs before going down into the tunnel, which is definitely an inefficient choice, but whatever. But yes, we get to hang out with Lori M for the first time, and yeah, these sequences, obviously it's just a game, so it doesn't really matter, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I would never be able to lay down between train tracks because, yeah, the amount of possibility that, something would happen, like, the train is dragging something or something like that is kind of high, and, they move fast because they're on a track and they don't have to worry about things, theoretically, except for, idiot young adults putting their feet all over the rails. Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing there must be like a 3 or 4 feet clearance between them and the train, but yeah, actually it'd probably only be like a maybe 1 or 2 foot. I'm not sure exactly how big train wheels are and how high up their, you know, the caps are jacked. And Margaret definitely seems to be someone who is just a little bit, you know, Hannibal Lecter there. I guess that sequence of having both trains kind of, you know, rocketing past and, you know, only their eyes are visible, I want to say is symbolic of something, because having only eyes visible seems to be something that you would think would be symbolic of something, because, you know, we like to put a lot of emphasis on eyes, but could just also be a coincidence, and it could also just be because it looks cool. It does make me wonder if the fisherman's poetry improves the less you listen to his poems, but I doubt it. And yeah, Miss Rosa, who was introduced in Weird Autumn, is certainly kind of cool, just because you get to learn more about May's grandfather, who, you know, May always found him to be a cool person, but yeah, it turns out he was quite a fire starter. And, you know, Miss Rosa kind of suggests a, you know, an affair she had with her grandfather, which I think May is not sure how she should take this, but she just takes it as is and walks off going, "Oh God, I did not need to know that about my grandfather." But hey, we're all only, I guess, not human animals? Something like that. All sorts of stuff learned here. And yes, rat babies would indeed love a delicious pretzel. And this should be the last time I do this mini game. Obviously not the last time you're gonna head down into the tunnels, because, you know, there's more story time with Miss Rosa, and there's actually another new mini game that's been tossed into the tunnels, which is kind of fun. Very long mini game. You only can do it once, but it's very much a something that's worth it. And that's what I do like about this game. It's a game about exploration, and people realize that in order for that to work, you have to make it worth it. And yeah, at this point I decided to test gravity, and yeah, if you don't lift up the window high enough, it does indeed just slide all the way down. Good to know. Not that we're gonna need this too often. We're going back in tomorrow, and I think that's the last time we have to head up into the attic of Chamber of Commerce. May apparently has a maternal streak, even though she doesn't want kids. And yes, you can indeed have both, and have life work out to you. I could see May having like a ferret or something like that. But maybe that's just me. I suppose now that I'm trying to contemplate the future of May, I also don't really see her being the marrying type. I mean, I don't think she's going to, avoid any kind of romantic relationships, but, yeah, I don't know. Her personality doesn't seem to be one for, very long-term official type relations. I think she's more into having friends with occasional benefits, if that's something that she's into, but yeah. Should be interesting, at least. Speaking of sequels, yeah, while the people at Finji and Infinite Fall have not openly declared a sequel to Night in the Woods, there is that fan sequel of Love in the Woods being, developed, so that should be an interesting game. Turns Night in the Woods into a dating simulator, which is an interesting selection. Will that be a game that's on my channel? Yeah, probably. Just because, it'll be something interesting. And overall, I don't know. I don't think the game really needs a sequel, as much as I love the game. What happens later is sort of what happens, and that's sort of the point of the game, that this is just a, contained microcosm of events. So, I don't know. I suppose theoretically, I wouldn't mind having a sequel. Obviously, I would certainly play the heck out of it. But I'd almost say if there was a sequel, I would just want it to be about completely different people in Possum Springs, and maybe have, the main, the main four, may be Angus and Greg being like cameos or something like that. I suppose you probably wouldn't even have Greg and Angus, because I would like to think that they've probably moved to Bright Harbor by whenever a sequel comes, because I think they're moving in spring, so that's only 6 months by the time the game ends, if that. And and I know this is me going tangential. Yeah, I would like it to be about different people, because okay, growing up, I read a lot of the Star Wars novels, and I always got bored when they started talking about Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, those four. mostly. Because whenever Lando showed up, that was awesome, because he's, you know, not utilized all that much in the original trilogy, but yeah, it's like I always got bored when they went back to the original heroes and their adventures, because it's like we already know about their adventures. How about you do other people in this wonderful world that you've created, which is why I kind of really like the new movies, because it's like, yeah, you know, they accept and address the fact that you know, all of these other people went on an adventure, but there are other people in this galaxy. So, I don't know. Should be interesting. And again, sorry for that tangent. But yeah, I guess that's my view on sequels is, unless you can think of a reason for the, you know, main protagonist to be going on a plot once again, it's probably best to, you know, try to come up with whole new characters, and you can still use the same setting. I mean, worlds are places that multiple people live in. I don't know. I'm rambling. And here's CJ, who... Okay. So... Yeah, let me watching this. Yeah, husband's driving down tomorrow. So... either CJ's a female, I'm guessing otter, or gay, both of which are certainly plausible. It's just, I don't know, when the game first came out, you were kind of told that Greg and Angus were like the only gay people in the entire place, but it's like, I think you know, that's not the case. So, yeah, I'd say Possum Springs probably doesn't have a very large percentage of LGBTQA plus whatever. I'm a terrible person. I can't keep up with all of the letters. And yay, I did it! And now I don't have to do... Well, actually I have to do this mini-game once more, but the final one doesn't involve like an insanely precise jump. It's just do it. And at this point I decided to see what's going on the newspaper, because that's something I never did before. And only recently remembered, oh yeah, you can talk to him like a whole bunch, and he's got a bunch of stuff to say. Otherwise, you know, the Video Outpost 2 rocket is completely useless. Yeah, I've done a little bagging, not a lot, but yeah, I mean, it's theoretically intuitive, but my goodness, you get people who are just like, why are you in charge of this? Oh well. And on the same day we have the first quote-unquote date with Lori M, we get the first quote-unquote date with Germ. I mean, they're not really dates, but I guess it's as good a way to phrase it as any. But yeah, this is definitely one of the reasons why I think Germ is probably somewhere on the autism spectrum. Just that, or he's really an artist, just not an artist who creates. He's an artist that, creates conceptions, which, there is certainly an artistic merit to that, but it's just we look at artists who create things with a higher, esteem because we as the people outside of their head can appreciate what they do. So, yeah. Yeah, poor Germ, very, very random. Ooh, indeed. And you get a really nice song to begin this. In fact, if I had to point to a segment of Night in the Woods that I would say encapsulates the feeling of this game, I'd say this section right here is definitely on the top of that moment. In fact, actually, I would probably do this entire hangout with Greg as everything that's great about Night in the Woods and what's sort of the core of the game. Great music, weird, fun mini games, and sort of an existential look at life and reality. And yeah, I should probably think about picking up one of those bicycle kits. Probably sometime after tax returns or something like that. Because poor people don't really celebrate Christmas, they celebrate Taxmas. Yeah, here's probably another unsafe, activity. May is full of so many unsafe activities. And yes, Greg is certainly a lot better than I am at knife fighting. Although I have technically beat him at least once, so I've got at least that achievement on my Steam page. I'm not sure what the maximum number of cuts you can get, but I have a feeling it would be, like, seriously a lot. So, I mean, it's like, you have to win 3 rounds, and that's 3 cuts apiece. So the largest number of rounds you can have is up to 5. So you'd lose 2, so that's 6 cuts there, and you would have 3 that you would win, so that's another 6, so 12? Yeah, I've got 9 cuts right now, so I guess those numbers add up. Yeah, I've got 12 cuts now. So much blood. Yeah, I'm not sure if you have to time that just right, but it feels like you do. And Greg and May's discussion about the compulsion of destruction, which I can totally get. You kind of want to leave your mark on things because we're all just terrible animals. Yeah, see. And now that I've actually, played and run through Lost Constellation, we know what the forest god kind of looks like, and I guess it kind of makes sense. large bird mammal thing, kind of like a flightless griffin. Yeah, one thing that doesn't make sense is, yeah, when you have it strung, it suddenly gets very hard to control, which, you know, it's a crossbow. It shouldn't matter. But whatever, it's a game. It's gonna need to include challenging elements. That said, I do really well in this one. I 100% that head. And apparently you cannot shoot anything else other than the Force God. I think you can shoot the sign, but yeah, it doesn't do too much. So yeah, you're gonna see this thing very well pin-cushioned. At least Greg's gonna get all of his quarrels back. And we get to hear all of, you know, Greg's comments about head wounds. Very cool eye patch. Shiny as the night indeed. But yeah, in this scene we get to see more of, you know, Greg's manic depression, which is all kind of sad. And I can totally get it, you know, he kind of acts as the clown because everyone else is feeling sad, so, you know, he does his best to help things out what ways he can, but unfortunately, means he doesn't do a lot of self-care, so... Yeah, I never can do that, like, second comment. It's like, no, character is good. I think I did the second comment when I was streaming it, and it was, like, all super sad. And here we get to know more about Angus before we learn about him up at the, you know, the overlook at the park, so... But yeah, poor Greg. This definitely gets to me. It's a very good scene. Baby indeed got back. poor Greg seems to suffer from bipolar or manic depression, however you want to pronounce, or not pronounce it, but state it. I think bipolar is the current accepted term. But yeah, it is a very poignant scene. Greg's sad, okay? But yeah, certainly very good days. Sorry I've been a little more quiet. There's a lot less stuff to fill up all of this with, but we will indeed finish with a Greg run before the end of the year. Probably, let's see, this is like what, day 6? Yeah, I think this is the day before, yeah, Halloween, so yeah, we'll probably be done with this game before the end of the year. Yay. And then we'll be hitting on to the next RPG, which I assure you will be a lot shorter than Septerra Core. Especially since I've been pre-gaming a lot of that game. Gonna do my best not to get to another Septerra Core craziness, but I won't make any promises. Especially since, you know, at times I've had visions of Fallout and other stuff dancing in my head. Yeah, so much work, so little time. But yeah, now we've unlocked cycles to be played on the bass, which probably not going to play because I'm not that good at the bass. And I think that pause there was me having to actually take a pause and do stuff, so that was just a quick little edit there. But luckily it was impossible to see because, you know, there was no music in the background or anything like that. But yes, the train, which definitely ranks high on my list of dreams just based off the music alone. that the music is playing yet. But it will, someday. Yeah, a lot of this game just kind of deals with, you know, looking around and all that stuff. But yeah, I think I really like the accordion part of the train music the most. Man, watch me get ever so lost at this game because, yeah, that's the problem about these dreams is that, you know, you're just sort of stuck in a black void trying to figure out where all of this stuff is. But it's all good because, hey, you get weird kind of supernatural sights and other fun stuff. Unfortunately, that tuba does not get much play in any of these songs. The accordion and the violin typically get all of the good stuff, but I think that's most true for most songs, like in real life. Like violin, guitar, piano, a lot of times accordion. Especially if you're into polkas. But here we've got the end of another day and the beginning of the final day of the first week of Night in the Woods. So, when we come back, it's Halloween. Have a good one.